The largest IPO in history has dominated every major market headline this past week. And unless you've been living under a rock, you'd know I'm talking about SpaceX.
This is Elon Musk.
The company that promises to take people like you and me on a vacation to Mars or the moon as if we're buying a flight on United Airlines to the Bahamas. And if you're like me, you're receiving texts from your friends asking if it's a good idea to buy the stock right now.
Is his problem.
We seem to have reached peak FOMO. Let's break down my thoughts on investing in SpaceX. But before we do that, let's establish what an IPO is. It stands for Initial Public Offering. You see, when a company is private, it raises capital through institutional investments, venture capital, friends and family, or people that are just really wealthy and well connected. But when a private company IPOs, it is now listed on a public stock exchange, which means your typical retail investor, people just like you and me, can now invest in the company for the first time and become shareholders. Okay, now let's start with the reasons why I think you shouldn't invest in SpaceX, and then we'll get into the end of the video with reasons that maybe you actually should. So why might it not be a good idea to invest in SpaceX right now? Well, it finished its first day of public trading at a market valuation of $2 trillion. That means it is now officially the 6th largest company in the world. The only companies with a larger market valuation are Nvidia, Google, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. That fact alone makes me feel like we're living in a simulation. These are all highly profitable companies with proven staying power. SpaceX is not yet a profitable company, and despite bringing in almost $20 billion of revenue, they still posted a net loss of $5 billion last year. So yeah, SpaceX might just be a teeny bit overvalued. And when I say a teeny bit, I mean it's insanely overvalued. It's also important to look at what history suggests with other IPOs. A stock usually pops much higher on the day that it IPOs. The hype train rolls in and everyone wants a piece of it. But then over the next 3 to 5 years, they tend to underperform other more established companies as investors evaluate their earnings and performance. But that doesn't mean SpaceX can't continue to climb higher in the short run or be a unicorn. Some analysts argue that SpaceX is actually undervalued because you need to put a premium on Elon Musk and the cult that he attracts. Now, I don't care if you don't like the guy or agree with his politics. The fact remains that he has clearly proven that you shouldn't ever bet against him, and if there's a way to execute on his vision, then he's going to find that way. Tesla had its IPO back in 2010, and since then, the stock is up a staggering 32,000%. That means if you invested just $1,000 into Tesla when it had its IPO, you'd now have $321,000 today. And maybe the same thing will happen with SpaceX. You see, with Tesla, you're not just investing in cars. You're betting on their future in solar energy and robotics, humanoid robots and self-driving vehicles taking over the world. And with SpaceX, you're not just investing in rockets and space exploration. You're betting on their future in Starlink for large-scale telecommunications, and xAI for artificial intelligence infrastructure, and the scaling of X into the social media everything app. So with all that said, am I buying shares of SpaceX right now? I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I am not. I cannot justify the current valuation, and with there being so much key person risk in Elon Musk, I think it's best to stay on the sidelines for now. If something were to happen to Elon, I can only imagine how negatively that would impact the stock price of both SpaceX and Tesla. You also have to understand that the majority of SpaceX shares are locked up. Those early private investors who control most of the stock ownership are not allowed to sell their shares until a set future date. So SpaceX may see a lot of selling pressure once those insiders are allowed to actually dump their shares into the market and take their profits. But do I think there's a strong likelihood that SpaceX is going to shine long term, continue to draw a ton of revenue, eventually find a path to profitability, and play out as a great long-term investment? I do, and time will tell on all that. SpaceX is a once-in-a-generation company with a once-in-a-generation founder that truly reshapes the human experience and advances civilization towards a better future. And if you do decide to invest in the company, just make sure it's an amount that you can stomach watching the price swing violently both up and down, because I suspect we're going to see a lot more volatility in its price over the short term. All right, that's going to be a wrap on this video, but before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below whether you'll be investing in SpaceX or not, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The Assembly is the fastest growing and best investment community in the world right now. We're a team of 8 experts who teach you how to build long-term wealth and achieve financial freedom. The window to join as new members is only available on a limited basis every month, so be sure to follow @InTheAssembly on X for updates, and check out intheassembly.com for more information. Stay hungry, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video.